Everybody, and welcome to Weekly Manga Recap. It is June the 7th of 2017, and it's time for Weekly Manga Recap. How's it going, Chris?
What was that?
How's it going?
Okay.
I said a string of words, and then, how's it going, guys?
I was confused for a moment. I was like, Nick, I don't know how you knew of my Czechoslovakian roots, but I will not tolerate that kind of offensive language. We were a proud people. So, I forget where they became now. I don't know. The Slovaks and the Czechers people.
They were Czech, and then they were Slovak, and then they were Czech and Slovak, and then they were Czechoslovakian, and then they were Czech.
It's something Ottoman Empire. I don't really know anymore. I'm doing good, Nick. I'm doing good. How about yourself? How's it been going since you shit on another beloved anime series?
It's not an anime. It doesn't have an anime yet.
A beloved manga series, then.
Yeah. Yeah, for those of you who missed the talk about it, last time I got recruited by Anime News Network to participate in their Spring Manga Guide, which is a set of short reviews of a bunch of different manga, specifically first volumes of manga new releases. I had some good things to say about some. I had some bad things to say about others. If I had to give a really short list of, like, you should definitely go and read these, it would be Golden Kamui and My Lesbian Experience with Loneliness, for very different reasons. Golden Kamui is like the kind of thing that we would normally like talk about and be like, this is amazing, this is awesome. My Lesbian Experience is kind of just this heartbreaking, real biographical thing that deals with depression and sexuality and is, you know, a real thing that happened. Mm-hmm. But I also shit on a few series because I was just being honest. And honestly, a few things that I was kind of surprised. Like, I really didn't like Dragon Ball Super, just because of the way that it's paced out, because it's meant specifically to just kind of like try and keep pace with the anime, which is impossible. But then there was one called Aho Girl, which is about an asshole, stupid girl that is stupid and a jerk. And isn't funny. And the other one, and when I first announced after one of the recent streams that we did, like in the last couple of weeks or so, that I was going to be doing this, someone said specifically, you better not talk shit about Delicious in Dungeon. And I talked shit about Delicious in Dungeon. For those of you who don't know, Delicious in Dungeon is basically like about essentially a Dungeons and Dragons group that comes up with the idea to save money and time by not going into town and buying food, but instead to eat the monsters in the dungeon that they're journeying through. Mm. That's the premise for it. I don't like it. It's not funny. It's stupid. But a lot of people really like it. To give you an idea, though, one of the other reviewers gave it a 5 out of 5. I gave it a 1 out of 5.
Well, it was polarizing, too, because there are three reviewers, and the other reviewer gave it a 2, I believe. So
he gave it like a 2 or maybe 2.5. So someone in the middle, someone on the bad, and someone on the good. I think she might have been 2. I think you might be right, though. So
even then, it's still the idea that it's not, you know, it's not as though they were both 5s and you were just the one grumpy shithead who's like, I hate your fun! I hate it! So,
I'm gonna get in some... Annalise and I were already not on the best terms when it comes to agreeing about certain manga, Black Clover. And, so, yep, there we are.
I think we ought to have Annalise on the show again sometime soon so she can hash it out with you. You guys can bury the hatchet, so to speak.
And this is not a basilisk. This is a cockatrice. It's not a basilisk. I don't care that you say it's like a cockatrice. That's not a basilisk. Fuck you. I wouldn't care if I weren't so bored and angry, like, by the time that they called it a basilisk. But I'm like, it's not a basilisk! Oh, this mug sucks! It was such a giant RPG dork.
I like specifically how you explained it too, that you were recruited to do it, because in my mind I immediately got like Samuel L. Jackson Avengers like after credit scene vibe from that. Like you were in your room, like you just finished that weekly manga recap, and you turned and Zach from ANN was like, we'd like to recruit you to a manga review series. You'll be teaming up alongside a robot and a dog that can speak Russian. You're like, huh?
It was literally just like, hey, we've had you write it for us before, and you read manga. Would you like to do this? And I'm like, sure, I guess.
The next time you tell that story, flavor it up a little bit more. Like he came to you as you were holding on.
I was going into my garage to finish up my next Iron Man suit.
Yeah, you were like hanging from a cliff, and you like holding a child with one hand, and you're just like, oh! You hurled the child up, and then just like super flipped yourself up on there, and then he was there, and he's like, how would you like to review manga on our website for the summer? And you were like, yes.
Zach's just like Thor and Captain America as one person or some shit.
He's a lot of things, yeah. He's all the cool parts, and then you're just like,
oh, Replica Rabbit, that's awful. Nick is Iron Manga.
They're like, sorry, Nick. The only outfit we have left for you is Black Widow. Squeeze into this skin-tight black cat suit.
It wouldn't be so bad if Natasha Romanoff were above like 5'4".
You're like, you also need to fill out her hips too. You're like, why?
Oh, it's never gonna happen.
All right, well,
Annalise, that's not a basilisk. A basilisk's a fucking snake.
Oh, you know what? Here's the thing. When I was kind of prepping different things for Trollity trivia topics, I asked Annalise if there was anything, like any topic she found herself very competent in, and she mentioned mythology. So this might be a real fight. What if she drops some knowledge on you there? She's like, well, actually, in the true Greco-Roman interpretation of the basilisk, it was a chicken originally, then derived...
No, it's not a chicken. It's a lizard. It doesn't fucking matter. It's not a chicken with a snake tail.
Then it derived later into the form commonly known as a lizard-based basilisk, but I want her to drop this knowledge. I want to see what happens. This is interesting.
Fuck it.
I'll see what happens.
Oh, man. Like I said, I literally would not have cared if I hadn't gone through, like, up to that point, like, 2 or 3 chapters of boredom and then be like, it's not a basilisk! It's a cockatrice!
Just screaming angrily at your computer, I hate you!
I got angry about it, and then I slept, and I was like, I can't believe I got that angry about it. But I'm gonna put that in the fucking review. It pissed me off that badly that I got upset about something so minor. Like, literally, if it were more entertaining to me, I would have been like, okay, that's a different interpretation of it. Mythological beasts that are, thousands of years old get reinterpreted millions of fucking times. Then I was like, no!
No! I like to think that's just what you get eventually after you, like, are infuriated to a certain extent. Like, if, like, you were, like, waiting in line at Subway, it was taking too long, someone steps on the back of their foot to, like, sir, would you like lettuce on it? You're like, no! No! They're like, sir, I don't know what's happening, but can we get you anything else? No! No!
I just turned this whiny asshole.
Yeah, you just, it's wrong! It's not right! Basilisks are lizards! She's like, I don't know what you mean. Can I finish this sub and get you out? You know what? Fuck it. I'm just giving you a shit ton of tuna fish and mayonnaise.
Oh, man, boy. All right, so let's talk about the manga then. All right. We actually don't have as much manga as we normally do because Crunchyroll didn't update stuff, I guess. I don't know exactly what's going on. But
yeah, I wasn't entirely sure. There wouldn't seem to be any reason why. I don't know if this was maybe like a delayed version of their Golden Week. Because sometimes they'll still put out chapters during that period. Regardless, I'm sure somebody either on YouTube or something like that will let us know the details of it. But for anyone listening to this, there's no fairy tale this week, nor will there be any 7 Deadly Sins.
Which means that Nick does all the talking basically this time. Well, we never learn, but
we never learn, yeah. And for anyone wondering, we are not doing Death Note this week. I think Death Note will probably be next week, though. It's a busy time for both of us right now, so find a way to get all that in.
With that said, let's do the recap portion of Week Manga Recap, and everyone in the chat, just ignore all the links that are being thrown around. It's all propaganda. It's fake. It's fake mythos. None of it's real. So last time on My Hero Academia, we were getting a big focus on Sun Eater, and we get a flashback this time to explain more about the relationship between Amajiki and Mirio. and it's kind of intercut between the current goings on. So I think that we'll mostly focus on the action. At first, we will just ignore the fact it's like, oh hey, this little kid befriended this other little kid. Anyway, let's go over to, guns and swords being thrown around with the guy who has his shell and squid tentacles and stuff.
As we want to. This is Japan. Why would we not move on to that first?
So, Sun Eater tells everyone that he's going to handle these 3 bullets that have them cornered, and let everyone else move on. Aizawa uses his negation ability to cancel out their quirks briefly, and Fat Gum also gets in the way so that they're like, oh shit, well our guns and swords aren't going to work. And everyone's like, okay, come on, let's take these guys out. But finally Sun Eater just leaps in. He does this kind of somersaulting clamshell thing, and while he's rolling past them, he also grabs them with squid tentacles. He also briefly mentions what the guy's quirks actually are, including larceny, crystallize, and food. So he wraps them up and he says, hey, time's of the essence. We can't spend our time going with these guys. So just go. Fat Gum, I can keep these 3 occupied by myself. And Fat Gum backs him up at that point. And he says, yeah, all right, I trust in him. He can do this. Aizawa knocks out one of the guys. What is he? He punches the guy with the hood whose ability is Eat. I think he's trying to knock him out. Yeah.
Yeah, he essentially tries to take out one of them, but it doesn't work completely. Like, they're trying to...
Knocks him into the wall.
Yeah, he, hits him really hard in the head. Like, he does one of those, baff things, and... Oh, God, I'll lose this now, Nick. You're about to do the show.
Well, with how much they've actually got them currently disabled, with their quirks disabled through Aizawa, their arms are wrapped up with Sun Eater, you'd think that it really wouldn't take too much more time for them to just gotta go bonk, bonk, bonk.
Handcuff them or whatever I guess you need to do. I guess the notion is that they don't...
Handcuffing them, I guess, could take a little bit more time, but it really seems like, it's not... It seems like they're like, no, every single goddamn second counts, so go, go, go.
Yeah, which does make sense. This is a big emergency, and these aren't the targets they're here for. They have that. But, yeah, it did seem weird how efficiently they seem to subdue them to this point, and Sunder's just like, no, you have to go now! I'd be like, if it were me, I'd be like, oh, I mean, they really kind of got 90% of the work's done. Let's just wrap this up, and then I have to be alone, because I get scaredsies.
Yeah. So, Sun Eater, with the guy slumped against the wall with his squid tentacles around them, is like, okay, I'll deal with these guys. Gonna deal with these guys. Oh wait, I should knock them out.
Yeah, he just kind of holds them for a while.
He does finally start to rear back on them, but he really seems like he's holding them there for... It seems like I guess what you could argue is that he's prioritizing letting the other heroes get by first before he decides to take action to knock them out.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I can imagine.
Although I do love the panel, excuse me, the panel where Larceny, charges forward, so he just, fucking tentacle punches him. There's just something very amusing about the way that looks like the bonk, the tentacle punch.
Larceny, though, also has a hidden blade, which he's hiding inside of his mask, so that manages to buy them a little bit of freedom. Additionally, the crystallized guy, starts to crystallize, so he's able to break free of the tentacles as well. And so Sun Eater is losing his advantage as they get their quirks back, including he gets his shell armor stolen off of him by the larceny ability, which they say will steal a person's equipment. And he's like, oh, I guess my shell counts as equipment then, which I guess...
Why not?
It's a bit of a weird thing because he can grow parts of what he eats, but
it's a very video gamey kind of power though. He's like a thief in an RPG. I just stole your potion or something like that. Because it's just what apply? if he were to be fighting against the millionaire, like, what would he like? He'd be like, I guess your mask or something like that. Does it only apply to heroes with paraphernalia of some fashion?
I mean, I guess his uniform doesn't really serve any particular function. Except, I guess he's got a bunch of pouches, which I assume he stores food in. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, you're right. It is very video gamey. Like, it's like, when you have Kirby in Super Smash Brothers. Which ability does Kirby steal? The B. Okay, but is there any logic behind, one doing the Falcon Punch, or one doing Samus's Charge Shot, or one doing Mario's fucking Fireball?
It's even strange, because even Sun Eater doesn't get it. He's like, he steals a person's equipment. I guess my shell counts as equipment. Like, even he's like, this seems like horseshit, but whatever. God damn it. I guess there's no one I can argue with, because I'm in the series.
So, Sun Eater starts to get his shit kicked in. And at this point, he has a more in-depth flashback of when they were in middle school? High school? I don't know.
It seems to be
early in high school?
I think this is the start of the Hero Academy, because it looks like the start, like the first test they're doing is essentially like the start of the Hero exam. Yeah, so I think this is supposed to be, what's the name of the academy? It's not called My Hero Academy, is it? UA. So I think this is supposed to be like the start of UA. Or their time in UA.
That would make sense. So we see that Amajiki is trying to manifest something, but he's only got like a little bit of a tendril coming out of the back of his hand. Meanwhile, Mirio is pretty hilariously trying to, go intangible through a wall, and his hands go through, but then he fucking slams his face into the boards. But Mirio is staying optimistic, like, I'll just pull it off properly next time. And so they cut to later when they're walking home from school, and Amaji's like, I can't do anything, but you're incredible. You're going to be a great hero someday. I can't think about anything except for failing, though. And Mirio says, hey, you give me way too much credit, though. See, the reason I work so hard is because I've got you by my side, Tamaki. I'm not really all that strong, but when I see you out there all nervous, but you refuse to back down anyway, I just feel like I don't want to lose to you. Which is kind of a cool thing. Mirio sees the best in him. That he's very nervous about this, but he sees that he's got the determination not to give up. And so he's like, okay, I've got to work that much harder, So, but then we get a cool moment from earlier on, where they're discussing and like basically around the time that they first met, and Mirio said, deep down you've got real talent. The truth is you're a fun guy with a bright side of your own. And Tamaki says, let me borrow that word you used. You're going to be even greater than any regular old sun. You'll outshine any sun out there. So with that, Tamaki's like, well, then I can't let that down. So in order to outshine any sun, he will become the Sun Eater. And, remembering this, he seems to turn his fingers into crab claws, which is pretty ridiculous.
It's pretty awesome. First and foremost, I like the explanation behind the name. Like, it's one of those things that clearly, like, it was planned ahead of time. It was just like, Sun Eater. I'll figure out what it means later, or something like that.
Right.
And I do like the little notion of, like, I know that you're usually, like, the sad, downtrodden one, but you don't realize that you're a bright guy. Like, you're a fun person with a bright side all of your own. Like, it does go to show that there's, like, a real relationship between these two that you can kind of see now coming into light. And again, it's one of those things where I really hope they kind of add that third element in for the female member of that group, to kind of add to the idea that these three are really like a tight-knit, like, group that, enhances and supports one another. But I really do just like that final panel where his fingers have turned into, like, crab claws with, like, little octopus suction cups in between. Like, it just looks like a really cool visual. There is one...
So actually combining the things that he's manifested together.
Yeah, it seems very cool. But there's one odd element of this chapter. I didn't even really notice it the first time, but I noticed it now. So the villains, particularly the larceny guy, starts bragging about how they had given up on life and they tried to kill themselves, but a hero saved them, and that just made them more depressed. but then the young boss found them and gave them a new use for old garbage, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a weird story to kind of give them without a whole lot of like explanation behind it. It's almost as though I would rather they not had any kind of like explanation as for why it just seems so strange to be like, we tried to kill ourselves, but a hero saved us. And oh, how bad that made us feel. Like I'm not immune to the idea that I know that there is some level of sadness to when somebody's like, I couldn't even take my own life. That sucks or whatever. But it just seems like a heavier, like more intricate topic than to just give them in a throwaway explanation for why they're with this guy in 3 panels. I'd have been like, I don't know, I like stealing shit. My power's the larceny. I'm a bad guy. What do you want me to do?
I guess it's because they're not particularly important characters, but I do agree that it seems kind of very quick, an explanation there.
Yeah.
It made far more sense in The Incredibles when the guy was like, you didn't ask to be saved, and he got all these injuries when you caught him while he was throwing himself off the building.
Yeah, like there's nothing to that extent. It's just like, they're like, grumble, grumble, grumble.
I wanted to kill myself, but then I couldn't kill myself. But then this guy came along and gave me a reason to live. Okay.
All right. I mean, it does fit the idea that Hisaki kind of like, or Overhaul, whatever his real name is, I forget it at the moment. But Overhaul kind of like gravitates and kind of finds people to be followers of his and makes them into pawns, more or less. So, I don't know. It was just one of those things that I only noticed on a reread here that I was like, huh, that is a strange little thing to throw in there.
All right. So we have no fairy tale this week.
No, we did not.
So we are instead going to jump into Boruto. So last time, you may recall that Tento, the daimyo's son, who Boruto was finally getting along with, it turned out his butler was like the leader of some sort of gang of criminals, and we get more of that this time in The Value of a Hidden Ace. So we start off with this meeting that Konohamaru has with his team, saying that they're going to start taking on a B rank mission. And there's a weird kind of note because they're like, oh yeah, well, right when he started off, Gara, the current Kazekage, he could take on B rank missions no problem. But, you know, if you take on B rank missions, that means if you succeed, then yeah, you'll get people giving you credit. But if you fail, then that means that you'll have even lower credibility. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, like, I always thought missions more so related to their risk. So it's one of those things which you'd almost assume, like, it's a B rank. Like, if you fail, it's like, yeah, I mean, you might get bumped down. You're more likely going to be dead. But, in case you come home and fuck up. I do get what they're saying, but, I found it more curious.
I guess the idea is that they've been entrusted with a more important and more difficult mission. Therefore, I guess if they, well, no, because if they fail an easier mission, that means that doesn't make sense, Konohamaru. You're a bad sensei.
It's that idea of being like, I guess if they fail a mission, it proves that they're not ready. And then with that, you have to kind of earn the respect to get to that point again, kind of deal. But I found it a little bit more strange when they came in and Sarada's like, so wait, you're not going to make us clean your office again. I'm like, because they almost insinuate that if they fail the mission, that's what they'll go back to doing. And it's like, wait, what? Is that what, like, the fucking C rank missions are? Clean my room. Take out my trash. And they're like, wait, are we just, is the low rank ninjas just essentially like disguised indentured servitude to you guys? Like, what the fuck? They're like, yeah, once you graduate from that, then you fight awesome ninjas. It's just, those are the 2 levels. You clean my shit and then you fight awesome ninjas.
No scrub my back.
Yeah. I got a bunch of back pimples. Pop them. Like,
There's also a little moment because, he builds up like, oh, hey, or Mitsuki rather mentions, oh, Lord Kazekage would clear B-rank missions as a Genin too. And so Sarada's like, oh, wow. Well, if I follow in the steps of Lord Kazekage, that's great for a Hokage in training. And Boruto's like, yeah, let's do this. A difficulty level that old man Gara handled. That's awesome. Mitsuki doesn't think anything about it. He just got, yep.
Mitsuki Mitsuki has, like, no info to add to any scene. He's never the guy to, like, say something or respond to a comment. Count the number of times he has a dialogue bubble in this entire exchange. I think the insinuation, I don't think, is that he says anything when they're walking into the office. He doesn't respond to anything in the office except to the comment of, it's not that rare, basically explaining the Gara part. Then has nothing else.
That's literally it. He doesn't have
yes, sir.
He doesn't have any banter.
Yeah, like he just has nothing to say in these scenes, more or less.
So, I mean, like, and you can have a character where that's kind of the point of them, but it doesn't really feel like it is with him. It sort of feels like they're kind of going for a little bit like how Sai was.
Yeah.
When he teamed with Sakura and Naruto. But Sai would make, weirdly inappropriate comments, and he could contribute humor to a situation in that way. But
I just forget Mitsuki's there most of the time. Like, I'm just like, oh, right, there's a third member of their group who has no aspirations that we could really tell, has no real, like, personality about things. Like, he doesn't, like, we know what the other two will want to do.
But he's the moon, Chris! He's the moon to Boruto's sun!
I guess. I'm sure it's something that will develop over time, and we'll find out what that entails. But as it is now, I'm just like, oh, right, you're third person.
So, a weird thing happens, because
you're the Jinder Mahal of this three-man band. You're just there. And then 6 years from now, you get to be champion.
Heath Slater, beloved underground babyface. Drew McIntyre, beloved indie darling. Jinder Mahal, steroids.
There.
Sorry, eats a lot. Yeah, that's it. Vein popping out everywhere. All right. The Jinder Mahal comments will stop when he's no longer the fucking WWE champion. All right. Boruto walks around on the street. He reaches into his jacket pocket and realizes that Tento slipped in the rare card that he was talking about. And he's like, this is really nice, but I really should just give this back because I told him I didn't want it. And, I know that he was just trying to sneak it to me, but, no, I still don't accept this. So he sneaks off to the building where the Daimyo's family is staying, which has a very kind of crudely drawn advertising sign. It just goes, no, Javi.
I'm like, you motherfuckers have televisions at this point.
It's like a Flintstone sign.
I'm like, you motherfuckers have televisions at this point. You can't be doing this shit for nice fucking hotels.
It's a 4-star resort. Would be 5 stars, but Jesus Christ, that sign out front.
They're like, exquisite service, fantastic rooms, everything's perfect. The sign, though, it's so strange. It's so crude. Like, hold on, I don't want to be, like, rude when I ask this. Did someone's, like, kid, like, draw this for, like, a contest, and that's why it's, like, so hideous and ugly, and they have to kind of use it? Is that what's happening? Did, like, a dying kid make this his last wish? Is that what's happening here?
So Boruto wanders around the balconies of this villa and happens to stumble across exposition, where the daimyo is talking with a bunch of followers about how Tento has been kidnapped by Mujina, group of criminals. Their demands are that they want a shit ton of money, and also that all detainees being held in Hozuki Castle Supermax prison be released. Was this a thing? Like,
I mean, yeah, it is like one of those things I didn't get the reference of, but I guess it's just the idea, like, expand upon the world. I kind of like this notion, like, we're very clearly, like, we knew after last chapter that this was an inside job. Like, it's not just someone kidnapping him for no reason. So we get the impression here that this is like a, hey, get my guys out kind of thing. And I kind of like that, but it is one of those things I was just like, I guess this is a new place. It's a big deal here. I don't know. I guess this is their Rikers Island. I don't know.
Korea Prime suggests that there was a movie that referenced it, but okay.
From the 4th Naruto movie, prison from filler episodes. What are you gonna do? All right, you know what? I don't have time for all these fucking tertiary Naruto things.
So the guy just says, all right, we should prepare the money and we should meet with them and basically try and negotiate, because obviously this sucks, but we can't just release all those prisoners. So someone says, should we alert the ninja? And he's like, no, because they could be watching our every movement. Our every movement. Meanwhile, a blonde ninja in an orange jacket is dashing around just outside their room. Apparently he doesn't get spotted. So Boruto does a stupid thing. He goes to Sarada's, and Sarada is in pseudo underwear in her room.
You know, I didn't want to assume that's what it is, but it's worth noting that it's just deliberately it is like a costume change. It's not the same thing she always wears, and it's also worth noting that Naruto doesn't come into the room. So it's not enough that I'm just like, ew, it's a weird scene of a girl in her underwear, but it's just one of those things where I'm just like, I don't get what I guess it just seems strange to me that you pointed this out.
Weird, yeah.
But I don't know what the point of this is. Like, would it have been that strange if she was in her house, like in her fucking regular attire doing this? Or is there meant to be like some sexual tension to this or something? Like romantic tension? I don't know.
Girls wear comfortable clothing in the privacy of their own homes, as they fucking should. It's just kind of weird that we see this, you know? It's just a little weird, and it's like just skimpy enough to make me go, is that supposed to be tittling?
I don't find it too. I'm confused as to what the purpose was.
Well, not to us, but I mean to, you know, the demographic that would read this. So
possibly.
I don't know. Anyway, she's practicing her kunai throwing skills when Boruto knocks on her window. Boruto says, I can't go on the B rank mission. And Sarai's like, something important came up? Yeah. Something you can't talk about? Yeah. Okay. Mitsuki and I will handle it. You go take care of that. So, you know, a cool little moment that shows the trust between them. But why did Boruto tell anyone else about this?
In what way? Like, you mean like not telling Konohamaru or anything?
Well, yeah.
Or not telling people to bring help?
Well, see, the thing is, he goes off and just excuses his absence, which, okay, I get that. But specifically, the daimyo's like, we can't inform the ninja because they'll be watching our every movement. Boruto gets off to the village easily, without apparently alerting anyone, because he shows up later to save the day. But he doesn't think, hey, maybe I should go and get my team. Or, hey, maybe I should go and get some actual professional ninja to handle this goddamn situation.
What was kind of strange is, because, you know, not to jump ahead, but Naruto shows up at the end of this chapter where Tento
Naruto
is. Sorry, Boruto. They're the same goddamn character to me, alright? Boruto, make a name that's different than just the same name but with a B, alright?
Call your kids
I'm not good with names, Nick. What do you want from me? Alright, Boruto shows up at the end of this chapter to save Tento. Going to Sarada's house to be like, hey, I'm not going to be at the mission, and then being able to show up at the place that would seem to only, like, be relevant, indicate, like, if he was going to be, like, if the mission was about to start, I guess, 2 hours from now, and he's like, hey, I won't be there. Like, it's one of those things where the only reason he would need to tell the team, like, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it, is if he's like, hey, me showing up at this warehouse might take a couple hours, or I'm just going to be too tired from this to help out on the mission. It's just one of those things.
Timing, yes.
I'm just like, I don't see how those two connect. But I think what's strange to me is, like, it didn't really have a whole lot of weight since we only found out about this mission that much earlier. Like, it does, as you said, go to show the trust that they have between them. But I'm just like, it's not as though Boruto making this sacrifice has this tremendous weight to it because he's making this big sacrifice for this B-rank mission that they've been training for forever. I'm like, they found about this, like, earlier today or something like that. So it's just one of those things where I was like, I don't really get all of this. And it's partially, I guess, because this is a monthly series. So a lot of the narrative is kind of delivered to us at once. And there wasn't, like, time to put that out beforehand. But yeah, I definitely didn't feel a whole lot of, like, emotions when Boruto shows up to be like, can you take care of this mission? I got something to do. I'm more concerned, is Sarada eating her glasses in that last panel? It looks like she's eating her glasses. That's a really bad habit. All right? I did that when I was a kid, and every nun slapped me. All of them.
That gets you to think about Satan.
She's like, you got time to chew on your glass, you got time to think about Jesus. I'm like, oh, I do so much already.
So, we cut over to where Tento's being held captive. And Yamaoka, his butler guy, is like, it's time to reveal myself. And he releases this jutsu, which is actually a disguise, revealing that he's actually Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. He explains...
The real Yamaoka's dead. Long dead. That's my stone cold lock in a century. Oh, the weak.
Oh, the weak. I mean, fuck it. Look at him. Like,
he definitely
the chain,
has it.
The hairy chest.
The fatness, like the clearly very overweightness.
Fine, man. I'm gonna go kidnap the daimyo's son.
Whatever. It doesn't even matter to me anymore, I guess.
Don't go in my pool.
I'm gonna eat you now.
Gotta eat your brain. Oh, yeah. That's good brains right there.
I feel like Ford. I'm a jukebox hero.
Anyway, he explains that he used a forbidden jutsu that devours a target's form, memories, and abilities, along with the target's life. So basically, he ate the guy and was thus able to pass as him because he could perfectly mimic him. So the guy's real name is Shojoji. And he just introduced himself as, and despite my looks, I'm one of them ninja that you love so much.
Where's my card? They're like, well, actually, here's your first card, and then here's the one that just fits your belly on it because it was too big for one card. It's like, oh, that hurts so much. You're so cruel with your words. I'm gonna eat you now.
Eat this card.
I'm gonna eat you now.
Taking your card publishing abilities. So, he says that Tento is their reward for this job. You always say you want to become a coward with the amazing ninja. What a freaking joke, fool! Best you can hope to be is a bargaining chip to use against the daimyo. And, but when he drops Tento to the floor, the super secret rare, ultra special, mint condition, sparkly hollow comes with a fucking dildo. I don't know. 7th Hokage Uzumaki Naruto card.
Is that what Yu-Gi-Oh cards back in the day came with? It's been a while, but
listen, Chris, I want to talk about what I got into when I was 14. Okay.
You're like, if you lose this duel, you go to the Shadow Realm, and it's just a chair with a dildo on it. It just says Shadow Realm written on it in crayon. You're just like, I hate going to the Shadow Realm.
Why crayon?
Well, because you're 14. You're a kid still.
Fucking 14-year-old were you like?
One with very poor penmanship.
Oh, one day I'll stay inside the lines.
One day I'll cut a line straight without a ruler.
So, as he drops to the floor, the super secret rare, ultra special 7th Hokage Uzumaki Naruto card comes out of his pocket, along with a single ninja star. So, Tento gets determined and holds out the shuriken like it's a gun. It's just kind of a really weird kind of thing for him to do. Nobody move!
Yeah, I'm like, even if he rushed at you, like, how would you throw it like that to be in any way effective? He's like, I'm gonna throw it with my dreams, god damn it!
I'll throw it with my heart like Zoro.
I'm like, you know what? I guess he's got me there. So,
Tento says, no one will ever acknowledge scum like you as a ninja, and that's why you don't have an X card either. So, Tento prepares to, I believe, commit suicide. Because it looks like he's moving the shuriken towards his neck. Uh-huh. I feel like that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
But, fake Yamaoka, whatever, Carl, rushes forward and pins him to the ground and snatches the shuriken away. And, so he says, no, I can't have you waste your precious life. Since I'll need to eat your living brain in order to take your face for the corpse doppelganger jutsu. Ah!
Oh,
It's actually a very disturbing because he just lunges forward and starts to bite into his fucking skull.
yeah, it's all face.
Like, he goes anaconda on the kid. And the expression that Tento is making really sells it, honestly, because like, what the fuck?
He's like, dude!
Jesus Christ!
Dude! Not cool.
But here Boruto comes to save the day. He kicks Carl in the face and knocks him away. And he says, Tento, you've got an almost scary amount of guts, dude. And yeah, there he is. He's like striking a badass pose. He's like, leave the rest to me. This is ninja work. And all of Carl's men are just like, we're standing here, I guess, over here, not doing anything.
They're like, shit.
We could have warned you that he was going to kick you in the face, but, you know, you get kind of weird when you're eating people.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I kind of wanted to see it happen, so, you know, I got what I wanted.
What a weird chapter.
Yeah, I don't really know what to say on this. I to a certain extent, I do like it. Like, I do like the idea of Boruto becoming more of a heroic figure, and this does feel somewhat akin to, like, early Naruto in a way, where things felt a lot more intimate, like the power level was low. I do like the bringing back of forbidden jutsu to one that actually feels like there's a reason why it's forbidden.
Yeah, you kill someone by eating their brain.
Yeah, like it feels legitimately like something was like, hey, I discovered this new jutsu. It's kind of fucked up, though. I don't think anyone else should be doing it.
They have, I mean, because I think that, wasn't the Kage Bunshin, like, supposed to be locked away?
That was a forbidden jutsu, yeah.
And now everyone just does the Kage Bunshin. Whatever.
Yeah, I never really... I'm sure there's a reason, and I'm sure a lot of people will comment as to why, but... yeah, this one at least felt like it was appropriately forbidden.
Yeah, and other than that one, it seems as though a lot of the forbidden jutsu have specifically sacrificed a human life in order to unlock some sort of power.
Yeah.
So... okay. So... we're gonna move on from there. We're gonna do Food Wars next. Well, we found out who that council member is this week.
Man, it's gotta be one of the biggest, like, fuck yous out there to make this big deal about the new fucking 3 members of the council, and the lowest rank of all of them was somebody we already met, and he was by far the most significant member. When one of them was like, I have a butt chin and I got beaten a one-handed stomp fest, and the other one's like, I just lost. I'm just, holy shit.
It's like when they brought Kurt Hawkins back and they gave him all those vignettes for weeks and weeks and weeks where he was Chuck Norris, like 12 years late. And then he would come to the ring and say he was going to debut, and then he wouldn't debut. And then eventually he did finally debut, and he was just a jobber.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, because I guess we're technically jumping a little bit ahead, but we found out who the the 8th seat actually on the council is, I think. Or no, Julia was the 8th seat, and she got she got the 5th seat on the council.
Yeah.
Holy shit in a basket! That's absurd.
She got a higher seat than Kinokuni.
That shit is absurd.
And it's not a matter of like, oh, it's because these spots in the council were vacant and thus had to be filled.
Yeah.
Because Azon was promoted after the vacancies opened up. So this is after rearrangement. So this girl apparently ranks higher than Azon does.
What in the great glorious fuck? See, she's ranked higher than Kinokuni, and who's the 5th seat then? Is that that's the guy with the sword, right?
Somoi Sato is the 4th seed, then Momo the doll girl is the 3rd seed, then it's Rindo and Tsukasa.
So this girl who's considered well, I guess it's not purely a better chef, but she was ranked higher than one of the members of the council we have yet to meet yet, and has had a lot of mystery put into that. She was supposedly better than him, and just lost in an off-panel thing to essentially as a joke, because it's like the panel she's defeated, we just get all of her explanation, like all of her measurements, what she likes, what she dislikes. We're presumably never going to see this fucking chick again.
Basically, you see her dating profile.
Yeah, like she's just like, it's the joke, like she's lost. Here's all the details about her because she's never going to be seen again. That's fucked up. I thought she was the 8th seed or something. Like they were just like, yeah, she's like,
and you can finally see her full badass freaking uniform too. She looks cool. She looks like she would make like a great video game character.
Yeah, I assume she's a character from King of Fighters at this point, or School Rivals. I didn't mind this when I thought I didn't read closely enough and realize that she had been given the 5th seat. I just assumed that she was a 9th seat or something like that. And they were just like, this was just what's his name? Tsukuda? Is that the mangaka's name? This was just Tsukuda's way of being like, I don't know. I didn't really I thought I had more for these ones, but I didn't, and I'm done with them.
I mean, it seems like after this chapter, again, getting ahead is when we're actually going to start really ramping things up. But it was weird that it was like, we're going to have 8 members, and you're never going to see this one ever.
But why rank her? Because she's out now. She can't fight anymore. It's not like she can like come back and be like, all right, that was just because the 3rd seat was really impressive. Now I'm facing fucking, I don't know, Azami. Or not Azami. What's the fucking Italian douchebag? Mario brother. I don't know his name. Takumi. I'm facing Takumi and I'm gonna whoop your ass. And like, that's where you get like she's just done. She's not in this tournament anymore. She's out. So why then at that point would you rank her higher than members of the council who still haven't competed yet?
It does really.
When you didn't even do anything with fucking Shiromusha Badawato, whatever his name is. We didn't find out shit about him either. He was just like, I am cool.
I can only assume that Rindo and Tsukasa are gonna fucking run the table on some of these guys because Jesus Christ.
Man, this is. All right, you know what? Let's go.
I mean, we've got this whole long build up to it because people are reveling in Ishiki's victory. One of the judges specifically compliments Ryoko's sake that got used. We also get a little bit of banter among the Council of 10. Rindo is still the only one being supportive as freaking Julio's freaking carted away on a stretcher.
It was really fucking good eel.
Tsukasa and Somei really don't seem particularly worried about anything. So Kuga's like, "Oh, we're doing awesome. This is great. I'm gonna dress up like fucking Fu Manchu for some reason." The MC really does also build up how awesome Shoko is over the next 2 or 3 pages. And then Megashima, kicks her ass and she's just passed out on the fucking floor with the expression of ecstasy on her face. So finally Azami's just victory only grows sweeter the more worthwhile the opponents. And everyone's like, "Oh, wow, the resistance has swept with 3 victories in the first round." And somebody's like, "Hey, this kind of looking actually a little bit bad because, hey, we might lose by the 3rd bout at this pace." Shit. So Zombie's like, "All right, we're going to call an intermission so that I can, inject steroids in my shitty team." Cooking steroids,
Yeah, if they don't come back with fucking the Millennium Rod Eye on their head, and he's just like, "If you lose this duel, we'll both go to the Shadow Realm of cooking." Remember, it's that share with the dildo over there. I just put some paprika on it. That's how it's the version for cooking. Thanks for the idea, Mr. Freeman. It's just you and the audience
no. I was all Chris.
It's just me in a bad wig of you. I'm just like, "It's me, Nick." Freeman spelled wrong.
It's me, Nick Freeman. You've gotten a Sharpie out to draw a mustache on.
It's spelled poorly in crayon on my name badge too. Freeman, backwards R.
All right. So everyone goes to gather themselves in waiting areas and stuff. They're trying to figure out, okay, who should we send out next? We got to figure out who, the council is going to be sending out. And they basically said, because Ishiki notices that someone's missing, and he's like, where is he? And Takumi says, well, he insisted he'd be allowed to participate in the second bout. And Arena says, we gave him a sound lecture over it, too. He then proceeded to pout and shuffled off to the men's room. Someone's such a stupid kid.
It's like, kid could beat every goddamn match. What's going on?
Yeah. But, a lot of people are just saying, hey, we're ready to go. But Megashima says, hey, I'm ready to do this. Subaru says, yeah, I've been refining my technique too. But they also say, Arena, you're captain here, so you get the final call as to who goes to go out for this. So we cut over to someone coming out of the men's room, still pouting. And he encounters Kuga confronting Tsukasa in the hallway. And Kuga's like, hey, you're going to be in the second round, right? And Tsukasa's like, what if I am? And Kuga's like, tell me!
He gets very shoujo in that moment. He's
he
like,
does,
Tsukasa! Answer the question with the question. It's such a mini pants thing to do. Oh,
it just turns into Alice. This turns into Alice.
Oh my god.
How can you possibly do that, Paul? With me?
You're so, you're Rudy Patootie. Oh my god. SMH.
So Tsukasa says, all right, yeah, I mean, I am. And so Kuga's like, hey, so Tsukasa, you should fight me in the next Shokugeki. And, but there's also a little moment because, Soma looks at him and realizes that his hands are trembling really hard as he proposes the challenge. So if this doesn't lead to Kuga getting his ass thoroughly goddamn whooped in the next round, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Well, that's the thing. It almost certainly will, because that's this is not something that's come out of nowhere. We've known that Kuga has had this motivation to beat Tsukasa from the very beginning, basically, of this character. We found it out back in the Food Festival arc. Having this match is very natural, and yes, it would be very fitting for this to be the first of the big takedowns of Soma's team, and perhaps a round where Soma's not participating, so everyone in that team is disposable. We already know Kuga's probably the most disposable member on the entire team, because we've already really seen everything about him.
Yeah. Mimasaka is probably the only other one that I think is going to get knocked out immediately.
Yeah, I can imagine this might be a round of clean sweeps. Imagine if this is just pure almost fan fiction writing at this point. But next round comes in, they go exactly with the team we see here: Megashima, Subaru, Kuga, and then it's Tsukasa, Rindo, and I don't know, maybe they put fucking Momo or some shit in there.
Right.
And I think it would be baller as shit if Tsukasa is out there and he's like, no, I'm going to go crush Megashima and I'm going to go let Momo beat the shit out of you. Or, oh god, would it be so fucking harsh if he's like, Aizen's out there and he's like, hey Aizen, go get your respect back and crush Kuga. I just like the idea of Kuga losing not just to a member of the council, but not even close to Tsukasa.
The lowest one left, yeah.
He's not even up to that tier. And then they just use Tsukasa as a way to get rid of Megashima. Because as it is now, having Megashima there.
What, I'm going to make a prediction here, and this is, I don't think this is a particularly bold prediction. I think that Tsukasa is a bit too upfront a guy to turn down this challenge. And I think that this is probably going to be the big matchup that gets focused on the second round, in the same way that Kinokuni and Soma was the primary focus of the first one. Mm. And Tsukasa is going to wipe him. Then you're going to have probably another high-ranking member of the council, I think, take on Mimasaka. And Mimasaka will do his whole imitation thing, and they'll just outclass him and beat him. Then we're going to get a Megashima fight that goes the exact same way, where it was not focused on at all, and it cuts over, and Rindo has beaten him without ever showing what happens.
That would be pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie. That would be pretty awesome. It's a shame too, because I think he's still an interesting character. He's still this enigma.
Yeah.
The council.
Why didn't he join with the council's way of doing things? We don't know.
What's his cooking style? He's had a match. we don't know anything about him after it now. Like, we still don't know what he's about either. So it's definitely an interesting thing. But I would not be surprised if the next match doesn't end up being, if at least not a 2-for-1, if not a clean sweep for Central side. But, who knows? It could go either way, but I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens in this. As for this chapter, though, I didn't think it was too significant of a chapter before, but now after realizing that chick was made the 5th seat on the council, now I am actually a little bit
even angry about it.
I'm a little bit pissed at that notion. I'm like, why would you do that? I don't get it. Why would you have fucking Samoa Joe only win via disqualification when you're trying to build him up? You just have fucking Roman Reigns beat Bray Wyatt in the ring clean. All right, you're supposed to be trying to build this idea. Anyone could be a main eventer right now, and you're screwing it all up.
That's 3 wrestling references this episode.
Just wait.
We're gonna have.
There's no fairy tale.
One per series this week or something.
There's no fairy tale. We're filling that time up with wrestling references.
So Dr. Stone. It's a flashback chapter. Z equals 13, part 1, Stone World, the beginning. So many numbers. So we cut to when Senku first woke up. Really weird running joke through the chapter of monkeys looking at Senku and seeing that he is a smooth and shiny monkey, and their internal thoughts, which are bizarre, and include phrases like, "Where are you from, bub? Which monkey tribe? Dude's all smooth and shiny!" And the runt's showing off his junk for all to see. Well, so am I, but still. It's weird.
It's a very strange chapter. It's a lot of humor that it's all like based on the idea that these monkeys just assume he's also a monkey and can understand him. And they just have running commentary on this shit.
The way that the chapter plays out is essentially Senku trying to make his way for the first couple of months where he's alone. And we see that he actually really struggles initially. And he says something that I think is particularly important, because he says, "Hey, I don't have Taiju with his meat-headed brute strength, or Yuzuriha with her dexterity and handicrafts club expertise," because he's trying to build a fire by himself. He's having no success, and he's like, "I'll bet that either of these two, in very different ways, will be able to start a fire no problem." So I think that might be hinting towards Yuzuriha's eventual role within their little team.
Yeah, and it would be fitting for what we kind of know about her thus far, that she made dolls for them and everything like that. That she's just a crafty kind of person.
Mm-hmm. But eventually he manages to make tools by smashing rocks against each other and sharpening them and getting different sizes and putting them together with stuff. He manages to start a fire by, tying vines together and coiling them into a proper rope. And there is a pretty big badass panel where he starts the fire and it's huge, heavenly glow standing before him.
I just love every time it's a fucking video game thing, like, the smooth and shiny monkey acquired stone tools.
The smooth and shiny monkey acquired rope. There's also a funny little bit where he, cracks the spear and he's like, "All right, time to hunt." He tries to chase a deer down. No, but now just outruns him. He's like, "Ah!" But, he
just has a shit-eating grin the entire time. David's just like, he's like, "Oh, I'm going to eat the shit out of you, deer, so hard."
And we get this narration, that's through sheer creativity, he overcame all of creation to become an overlord of science. And, he manages to carve up the deer and craft proper clothes from himself. So it's all really a montage chapter, that does have some cool moments in it. But it's just kind of hey, this was how Senku was on his own, and here's how he kind of got to this point by just being really determined and ingenuous. So there you go.
Yeah, and you know, in one respect, I definitely enjoy that. I think this is a really cool chapter to get. Seeing how Senku was getting out of it gave him a bit more vulnerability than we've kind of seen from him before. Because again, we've normally seen him as the guy with all the answers, and because he has people who are able to kind of enact his plans for him, he seems to be kind of infallible. But seeing him here, we do see why he needs friends and allies, because one, it's something he can't do on his own, and two, it's very daunting. The thing I liked the most was him noting how difficult it was to actually factor in when things were, because he's like, shit, I have to actually figure out when leap years are in there, and Earth's rotation slows down. Like, he actually has to figure all this out, and it's not like he is just a human computer that shoots out an answer. We're seeing, like, inside his mind, there is, like, a person there, and he's having to figure out the work to it.
Right. So. He does seem, his intelligence is much more reasonable in this chapter. Mm-hmm. And you get the sense that he knows everything that's going on just because he's had a few months to plan everything out and figure stuff out before Taiju woke up.
Yes.
Also, there was a nice little joke at the beginning where he kind of like imagined like just bursting out of the stone, and you see he's just kind of like instead gradually falling off. Yeah.
I liked it. I like this chapter a lot. I'm enjoying this little flashback. It's still in that weird place of just like, I'm still like getting used to the series, and it was like, now we go back. Let's start from the beginning. I'm like, no.
Bit of an odd turn, but yeah. And overall it was fun, but not a particularly exciting one, I think. Mm-hmm. Let's move on to We Never Learn.
Yes. So We Never Learned, Chapter 15, or Problem 15. A genius boiled in bathwater exposes X. So.
Oh. Guys, it's been so long since we saw a hot spring episode, so this time we're getting a sauna episode.
Yeah, it would be ridiculous. A bathhouse episode. It's been too long. Okay, so last time, Yuiga went out to find Ogata out in the woods. They fell in together, like she fell basically into him. They presumably touched lips, and this is the end consequence of that the next day, basically. They are punished for being out that late past curfew and are punished by having to clean the bathrooms together. They don't address what happened between them. They're both very nervous about that, and Yuiga's particularly like, oh, is she angry at me because she won't look at me at all during this?
We also get to see the immediate consequences of what happened, where Ogata essentially was just like, okay, let's leave, bye!
Yeah, she just stands straight up, she's like, let's go now! Stop.
We should head back! You're going the wrong way. We should go now!
Yeah. And then they have just a little bit of like sexual tension there where it's like, geez, it feels like it would be like definitely like a player move if that's what he's going for. He's like, man, it's so hot here. I guess I'll take off my jacket. And Ogata gets really nervous. Like, oh God, his shirt's coming, his top layer's coming off. But then they start getting...
I can see his noodly appendages through nothing but his t-shirt.
But then they get nervous because they start hearing the girls coming into the bath. And Yuika's like, what the fuck? There's a sign that says closed for cleaning out there. And Ogata's like, yes, I have it right here around my neck. And you're just like, you're supposed to be smart. Like, you're not supposed to be socially, like, just beyond redemption.
She's just like, error, why would you put a sign out where other people can read it?
Error, signs should be inside after their purpose is invalidated. So all of the girls start getting undressed, and of course it's that, the bathhouse thing of like, oh, you've got such great skin. Oh, you're so big. Oh, tee. And
I'm jealous of your boobs. Let me just like put my entire hands around them and just squeeze them in order to feel what that's like. And
Yuika's just like, oh God, if I get busted for being in a girl's bath, people are going to think I'm spying on them and I'm going to lose my college recommendation. So Ogata's like,
very valid concern.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he's like, and I'm not trying to. Like, I'm not. This is an awful situation, Ogata. Like, I'm going to be fucked. And Ogata's like, you hide in the sauna. I'll think of something. And obviously he's thinking, he's like, I'm counting on you. If you just explain the situation, hey, we're clean in here. I did put the sign out, not to be anything weird, but Yuiga's in here. He's just in here helping me clean. Can you leave for 5 minutes and then we'll finish up and be done? He's like,
very
everything will be
easy
okay.
situation to resolve.
He's like,
everyone would just be like, "Oh, that was close."
Yeah, and they'll be like, "Oh, thank God."
Maybe one or two girls would be like, "Oh, he's kind of perverted. He's been in the girls' bath," but it would not be a major problem. Everyone would move past it.
You wouldn't even actually have to even bring up Uega being there. You could just say, "We're cleaning here right now. I stupidly hung the sign around my neck because I'm an idiot. Just leave for a quick moment while we finish up." Super easy. So,
unfortunately, this is where Ogata's social interaction problems actually come into play.
Yeah.
It makes no goddamn sense for her to hang a sign around her neck saying, "Don't come into this bathroom." But
she gets nervous and says, "Don't go into the sauna. It's super hot." So all the girls are like, "That's the point of the sauna.
That's how saunas are supposed to be."
Guys, don't get on this roller coaster. It's very fast. Like, I don't see the problem there. That's what it's supposed to do. So
guys.
Not only that, they strip her, like, to the point where she's just like, "Huh? I had my clothes on a moment ago, and now I'm just in a towel."
Guys, don't get on the highway. The cars go really fast.
It's a convenient way to get from one place to the other in a quick amount of time. They're like, do you understand things and how they work? But yeah, she's just nervous because she's like, "I can't believe the situation, how it's come." And of course, not Takahata, fucking, what's her name?
Tsukamoto?
Takamoto, sorry. Takamoto is like,
right.
"Let's go into the sauna." And they do.
Yeah.
The three.
And Ogata's like, "But it's so hot." And then they're both just like,
"That's
good.
the point." Thank God, I guess. It would be really awkward if it was cold or like just like lukewarm. That would suck. So they go in, and Uega is hiding beneath one of the benches there, and they're just in there talking about like
the one hiding spot he could possibly have found, basically. Yeah.
And it's one of those ones where like, I guess it's because of the steam is the logic they put in there, but from that vantage point of the girls looking in, I feel like they would immediately see someone hiding underneath a bench.
Well, there are baseboards on either side, and it is a fairly thick bench, I guess.
Yeah, but they're shorter than average, so they'd be at a lower vantage point. All you need to do is see an elbow poking out of, like, an elbow underneath one of them to be like, "Hey, that's a fucking person. What's going on?" You're not standard sauna equipment. It doesn't matter though, because in another level of like weird social action, they're in there for a moment, and then Takamoto's just like, "I can't do this anymore! I need water!" She just screams and bursts out of the room, and you're just...
As she does.
Like, at this point, if you're Furuhashi, would you just be like, "Who am I surrounded with?" Like, are you two... Like, have you ever been in a sauna before, ever? Do you know how the social contract to this works?
I mean... If you stay in a sauna for too long, you are eventually going to go, "This is way too much for me, so I'm going to get out of here before I fucking pass out." But she does seem to have a lot of energy left to go, "Ah!"
Like, she does it immediately. Like, there's not a panel of her being like, "Oh, man, it's starting to get hot," or anything like that. Because the last few panels we could see is her, like, kind of laughing and playing about, and then it's her smiling. And then just immediately, "I can't take this anymore!" And you're just like, "What? There is no in-between with you. You're one or the other."
Oh boy.
It was
like a switch gets flipped.
Yeah, she was just like, it was immediately someone flicked, "I can't take this shit no more." She runs out, and then they're just like, "Good, we just need to get Furuhashi out of here." And they're like, "Shit, I'm really getting to my limit. I don't know if, like," because he's down to the ground too, so he gets even less kind of like...
Yeah.
breathing out of it, and it's very natural. He might actually reach the point where this is dangerous. However, that's when Tsukijo comes in, and she's like, "Hey guys, come quick. There's a meteor shower outside that you can see from the outdoor bath." And those two go out running to go see this meteor
because Fumito's
shower.
obsessed with space, so she's like, "Whoa!" So
Yeah, she's very excited. She drags Ogata out there with her, and that's when Tsukijo's like, "Hey, I know you're into Uega." And she actually... she's maybe my favorite character in the series now, because she just cuts through the bullshit at this point, where she's just like,
I can explain! But no, I get what's going on.
Yeah, she's like, I saw that she had clothes on in the bath. I thought that was weird. I found the cleaning supplies, which you think anyone would have immediately noticed and been like, well, that's strange. Usually this isn't out. Whatever. I thought I'd cover for you. And he's like, thanks. I really owe you for this one. And, I guess she's the one who thinks this to herself, and she's like, she does. Yeah, she's like, he didn't see me naked, did he?
Well, because they have a joke earlier on where she's just wandering around the bath and she's naked, and they're like, oh my god, put a towel on. She's like, why? They're like, honesty.
But they managed...
shit, I was walking around naked while this guy was actually around, so he just feel kind of embarrassed.
Yeah, she gets that. So, with this moment of freedom, because everyone else is going to look at this supposed meteor shower, he runs for the door, opens it, only to come face first with Takamoto, whose towel is off as she's drinking water. And I kind of like this. She just grabs the towel and zips right by him. They say nothing to one another. They're just like, I won't. Nope. Just goes right past them. And then,
she passes off to herself by saying, like, oh, wow, I must have been, like, seeing things. Yeah. Like, I'm way too obsessed with him at this point. If I'm just seeing him randomly in the bath, that would never happen.
Yeah. Afterwards, she apologizes, basically, for being a colossal fuck-up in the bathroom, the bathroom fucking incident. But then, more importantly, she comments on the night before that, where they had their accidental kiss. And she says, specifically, that it was just an accident. That's all. It doesn't count. And, Yuega is like, yeah, of course, absolutely. It's a different concept. Totally unrelated. We're all good.
Alright. Everything's fine now.
Yeah. And then she's
I'm going to enjoy this drink of water.
Yeah. Did you see my boobies? She simply asks, like, did you see? And he's like, no, not really. My steam, like, it was steamy, so my glasses were all foggy up, so I could barely see anything. And she's like, you barely saw it! And she's like, quit glaring at me. And that's the chapter.
It wasn't his fault.
No, it's one of those things where I guess you really have to, like, pick the hill to die on here. Either you're like, these characters are so stupid, this humor makes no sense, and thus I hate it, or you just accept that it has to happen for the goofiness to happen, and you just like, yeah, sure. Ogata is so socially inept that she was like, I should put the sign that we're cleaning on my chest, around my neck, so that anyway, in case anyone comes up, walks up to me cleaning, realizes, oh, the bathroom's closed, I'm cleaning.
And I do definitely prefer this to, like, Fumio being like, I can't lose any weight. Will you scrub my tummy to see how fat I'm getting? Anyway, I'm gonna go get my midnight snacks, which don't count.
Yeah.
You fucking idiot.
Hey, it's a lot less of that. It's a lot more innocent. Again, I can always appreciate this series more as Yuega truly isn't trying to be perverted, isn't thinking of anything perverted. He just keeps getting fucking underage poon thrown into his face, his teenage tang, and he can't do anything to prevent it. It's just like, stop! I just want to get a good college recommendation.
Well, and also, yeah, he thinks about things pretty logically when they actually happen, too. So, he lands in the situation, and it's not like, oh no, I'm going to see their vaginas or anything. It's like, he's literally just thinking like, if I get caught, I will lose everything. So.
And I think that's why I'm able to enjoy the humor in it to this point, because it would be something different if he couldn't get it either. But he always seems to know the right, like he knew, he's like, all you gotta do is explain we're cleaning, I'm in here.
Right.
So like if he didn't have that and it was just the idea that she's just that dumb naturally and that's it, I would be like, that's weird. But showing that the other characters are aware that this is a dumb thing she's doing, that makes it better, and that makes it something you can enjoy. So I for the most part, enjoy this chapter.
And also, emphasizes that, hey, these are like things that result from the way that these characters are, as opposed to just the universe conspiring to make perverted shit happen. So it makes it feel more like an actual misunderstanding between the characters, and it makes it feel like a more natural, I guess, way of getting into circumstances like that.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, let's move on to the Promised Neverland, Chapter 41, Attack! So the kids are up from out of the underground cavern, having escaped from the snake-like root creature thingies. And now they're out in the woods, and they're bundling up because it's super cold. There's a bit of discussion amongst the kids about what's gone on. I still don't know so many of these kids' goddamn names. Emma feels like she's noticed something in the nearby area, but she's not seeing stuff. Dawn comments that, the cold air led to the roots being destroyed, and so he's like, I'm so glad it's winter or we would have been eaten. And some smarmy guy is like, well, actually, it seems like the hole doesn't open up unless it's winter. So we would have never landed in this situation if not for that. And Dawn's like,
Yeah, I didn't quite get that, why he seemed like his entire world had just shattered or something like that.
It's not like he
made a dumb statement without the knowledge.
Could have known that or anything.
Yeah.
And the guy is being smug for no real reason. But Emma looks on the bright side of things like, hey, because what happened, we now know what the use of the book is, and we know what kind of, danger awaits us out here. And now we can rely on our junior woodchuck guidebook to get out of any situation. We then get, cause Ray calls Emma over and is like, hey, we've got these, things that, grow out here. They can store fresh water. And so we don't have to worry about, going down to the stream or anything like that. We can actually travel more reliably. This is also something we know from the books. And Emma uses this as a chance to give a big pep talk saying, hey, look, we've got all this dangerous stuff waiting out here, but we're not alone. We've got each other and we have an ally. So we're going to go meet up with Mr. Minerva. We then get an explanation as to how they are actually going to do that, because we get a deeper explanation for how the pen works, because it works on holographic touchscreen technology. Essentially, Norman had figured out this code when he was experimenting with the pen and then left information for Emma to figure out. Ray demonstrates that he is at least as smart as Norman, nay, smarter, by figuring it out immediately as well, because #Ray. So it had to do with you go to this part in the book, this fucking word on this page, this string of letters, and you put that in, and it unlocks this. They get interrupted, though, from after they get a message saying, hey, I'm at location B0632, so you should head there if you want to meet up with me. But then there was more information ahead that they get interrupted from being able to read because a wild animal attacks. Very big wild animal.
A huge one. It's massive. Its mouth open looks to be bigger than any of the kids.
It's a great action page, really, with the kids running away from it.
This is a pretty crazy conclusion because we sort of mentioned it. Like, their threats right now aren't a psychological one always, and we kind of got a glimpse of them having to face a physical danger with the tree. This is a different level though, because this the only real way to escape this is to be not get chased down and eaten by this dog. It's not like they're going to be like, well, if I just play along and pretend like I'm a prey for the dog, I can use that to lure him into a false sense of security. Perhaps get some information out of that. This is where we're going to see what happens when this series becomes more of a traditional kind of action series. I still imagine that logic and thought and intelligence will play a factor, but this isn't like a tree you can trick. I imagine they're going to have to, at least in some way, run from the giant dog monster that's going to eat them.
And there's also the question of, is this actually a wild animal? Could this be one of the demons trying to chase them down? So,
yeah. We'll have to see. I guess we'll see next week if they, open up the book and they're like, one time I was attacked by a very nasty four-legged douche monster. This jerk face the snappy monster, and I found the only way to avoid it was to not ever catch its attention, because otherwise, oh shit, it does not get tired.
You can't outrun it, you can't fight it, you're just gonna fucked.
It's surprisingly great at climbing trees. It swims, flies. I don't know how it does that. It also can teleport.
If you play dead, it will just kill you more slowly.
Yeah. It doesn't have any predators you could lure it into to try to always a bigger fish kind of thing.
No one's gonna fuck with that thing. Look at it.
Yeah, I mean, oof, man, it is awful. But that's why you just, Never piss it off or get it.
Never draw its attention by, wandering around the woods and chatting to each other.
I suppose that is an option, actually, Death. They could maybe lure it to fall down into the same roots as one of the other trees and have that happen. But we shall see. Death is somebody in our chat, by the way. I wasn't addressing the metaphorical Grim Reaper that's hovering over us all. I talked to him. I'm just like, hey, I don't have to go one day, right? I can just always be around here. Oh,
sure.
I have to die one day. Okay. What do you think's going to happen to the Promised Neverland next week? That's a good idea.
They should do that. Let's move on to Black Clover. Page 112, the Royal Knight Selection Test, which is about the Royal Knight Selection Test, or at least the introduction to it. Before we get into the chapter, holy shit. This color page is amazing. It's so fucking cool.
It is an extremely cool cover page.
It's such an awesome action pose thing with all the black bulls gathered together with their weapons out. It's great. Yeah. So we actually begin with an odd little introduction. Character that we haven't met before, the vice captain of the Purple Orcas, Xerx Lugner, is staring down an odd-looking guy with weird kind of BDSM sort of gear. And I don't know exactly what the hell is going on that leads to this confrontation, because they're just in an alleyway, and Xerx Lugner says, you are obstructing public duties. As Magic Knights, we'll have to punish you. And some random wizard guy with super generic wizard robes next to him is like, this guy's awesome! He's the Saint of Pure Ice!
He's hot shit, don't you know?
He's the reason that the Purple Orcas have been revived and got 5th place. Or 7th place, or what the hell
they weren't high, yeah.
They weren't doing very well. So, Sharp-Toothed Leather Guy is like, oh, well, I don't care. And you 2-bit flunkies shouldn't be blustering about glory and such. So, hey, why don't you show me how awesome your magic is and punish me in the name of justice, authority-abusing vice captain of a mob. So, Xerx Lugner uses his ice magic and summons a bunch of giant icicles to slice into the guy. Everything goes black, and when we're brought back to the action, Xerx Lugner has been smashed into the wall and is all bloodied up. And Leather Guy is like, the Magic Knight's robe is wasted on you, when he rips the robe off of him and sets off to see if there's anybody else worth humiliating.
An interesting introduction. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you were somebody who's like, oh man, I can't wait till we find out the vice captain of the fucking Purple Orcas. I bet he's a real cool dude.
So we get to where all of the different Magic Knights are gathered. I don't know if we've met this mustachioed guy before. He seems to be a member of the Golden Dawn, I guess. Or maybe he's just a random guy and...
I don't know.
He's got a symbol on his cloak, but it's very small and I can't really make it out. So.
Well, you can see him from the back in the panel above, I think. But I don't know if that's supposed to be... I guess it would be... Well, I don't know. I don't care. I was sitting there trying to think it out, and I was just like, I give up.
So he's like, I'm all fired up, and Mimosa approaches him and says, you're kind of disturbing other people around you, so could you, calm down maybe a little bit, please, or I'll fucking kill you. A lot of reintroductions to a bunch of different characters. For example, it's like, oh, look, it's Klaus over there, and he's still playing with his fucking glasses. And there's Yuno, who has been around the last several chapters. Whatever. But yeah, there's some awesome guys here. And look at all those awesome Golden Dawn dudes. Yeah. Yeah. And then Asa just walks right up to Klaus and Mimosa's like, hi, guys! And Mimosa's like, Asta!
She just breaks for a minute.
A little bit of catching up happens, Asta approaches you and is like, "Oh man, that hot spring felt great." And Mimosa's like, "Oh, they were naked in a hot spring together." Yes, they were. Yes. And, typical, like, Asta being like, "Oh, I'm super awesome." And Yuno's like, "Whatever." Yeah. Or he actually talks some real shit because Asta's like, "I lost our race at the volcano, so I'm not going to lose to you today." And Yuno's like, "Did you image train so that for when you lose so you don't cry?" Wow.
Yeah, he's got no chill sometimes. He's like
Jesus Christ,
he's got a good poker face.
You gotta work up to that shit. Leo's there too. Yay.
Yeah, I was like, thank God you were here.
Finral's there. He has colored his hair, I think.
Yeah, I imagine that's what it's meant to be, and I guess the hairstyle is slightly different than what it used to be.
It's a little bit smooth around, yeah. And so he's like, "Aha! It's going to. This is really nerve-wracking, isn't it?" And freaking Magna and Luck are just like, "Huh? Who are you? Why are you wearing that black bull's robe? You fucking stranger! We'll kill you!" And it's like, "It's me, Finral." It's like, "Aw, you're not Finral."
He's like, "Come on, dudes."
And I was like, "Come on, guys, it's Finral. He just looks a little flashy." Yeah, I guess he is flashy. Finral's like, "What's wrong with being flashy?" Nothing. They're just fucking weirdos, dude.
So, Nick, what if I got like a couple streaks of neon in my hair? Like I get like a streak.
Oh man, how dare you be so flashy, Chris?
I might do that now.
I certainly won't just be like, "Who are you? Who said you could be on my podcast?"
Who is this stranger that's doing the show with me now? I'm like, I called you from my account, though.
What are you doing? Who said you could have Chris's Google Hangouts account?
You're like, you should know who I am. I look the same. It's just I have green in my hair now.
Noelle looks around and spots her brother Solid, giving her the most evil douchebag look. Like, "Oh, you're here to take the freaking Royal Knights exam, huh?" She remembers, though, Leona's words of encouragement, and it's like, "Yeah, I'm not going to be afraid anymore. I'll show my brothers and sister how much I've grown." The Lizard King shows up. The king shows up, and he's like, "Oh, I will be super popular with this awesome introduction. It's a team competition!"
I love his face. He's like, no, I should explain the test myself. The next exam would exist. A team competition! The Magic Crystal Destruction Tournament will begin! And you're just like, what?
I kind of want this guy to just be the most harmlessly douchebag guy in the entire group. It's like, "I'll be super popular with this shit."
Everyone's going to think about how cool I am when the Magic Crystal Tournament has begun!
Just starts floating around the stage, cawing like a bird.
It's like, stop, dude. Stop.
Someone!
What are the rules? What are the rules? It's like, no.
He just uses match to turn to a giant chicken.
It's like, but look at his face. Like, his eyes don't focus in. His face is screaming. His arms are holding. There's no way to assume he's talking other than to just be like, it's like the stressed out. He has to assume he's going, competition!
Asta's in the crowd like, "Dude, you've got to calm down a little bit, man."
What do you mean, calm down? I am the king, and I'm announcing the team competition. It's like, all right, good. Teams will be 3-on-3.
He just stops using words.
It's just loud noises eventually. It's like, all right, I'm just going to hand out these leaflets that have all the rules for you guys.
Be sure to read this 3-page letter that explains all the rules in great detail. Shows you how many pieces you get to start the board with.
Yeah, if you want, you can just put in these earplugs and you can just read the rules on this sheet. It's very simple. Over there, they see him as he's just like, ah! Like doing his roles, these flashy movements, these huge props and things.
He also, like, it's really bad because he's like, he starts to go over the rules in depth, and you can tell he kind of, like, starts to lose his steam. He's like, hey, you've chosen this format because, because,
Did I mention it's a team competition?
And basically the Wizard King's just like, so yeah, we need to emphasize how well our various brigades will work together, since, the Royal Knights are going to consist of multiple team members. So, yeah, that's why we've chosen this, so that we'll measure your cooperation and strategies, because oh my god, it's been fucking years since we pulled that one out.
I don't know what the king is anymore.
And then the second round will be you taking on the Trap Master!
He just starts like the Wizard King starts explaining it. His introduction's like, did you mention it's a
You think you're all hot shit, but what happens when you take on the derp strategy? You'll take out my 3 special Meta Knights with riot shields crouch walking around the stage!
You'll never be able to beat them. They'll get
well,
you
actually, we just kind of have to sidle around them and shoot them from behind.
Curses! Oh, man. I'm glad I am not using my old mic, or that would just be nonsense gibberish, I believe. All right, so they announced the teams.
That's the team competition. They divide everyone up into different teams. You don't see anyone else's team in depth except that Asta is teamed up with Mimosa, and the third member of their team is Zerx Lugner. But, oh no! Zerx Lugner was dispatched by the weird leather guy, who suddenly drops down from above and says, "Excuse me, I'm late!" Puts his arm around the Wizard King's shoulder and is like, "Hey, but I'll bet you're a cool Wizard King. You'll forgive me for being a little late, right? I'm Zerx Lugner. Nice to meet you." So a little bit of identity theft going on here. I'm actually quite intrigued by all of this, though.
Yeah, I absolutely was.
I think that this guy is really cool, honestly. Just shows up like a badass, says like, "You're a bunch of hypocrites. I'm going to kick your ass." He kicks their ass, and then just like, "And now I'm going to go hang out in this and see what these other Magic Knights are like, and see if I can kick any of their asses too."
Yeah.
Apparently no one knows what the real Zerx Lugner looks like, I guess. But, yeah, I like this guy. And he's got a really weird design, but I'm kind of into it, too.
Yeah, I liked his appearance. I like what this concept is. If it just ends up this is another guy that's a member of the Midnight Sun, and that's all this kind of is, I mean, so what, so be it. But I would really like the idea of, like, another important character within the Magic Knights that kind of has some relevance. And because it seems to be a tournament, presumably with more than one match, maybe it is just a one match kind of thing. It's at least we're going to see how this person interacts with Asta, and that, seems like it could be a good thing to do. It just seems like an effective way to introduce this kind of character and get me kind of excited for something new.
Some people are saying he's kind of reminiscent of Bond from Seven Deadly Sins, and I can kind of get that. His general build, the sharp teeth, a little bit of the hair, even.
I think it's the
and
body
also kind
language.
of the general attitude.
Yeah, it's body language, and I can see it.
The way he carries himself, and also the leather.
It's a lot of leather, shirtlessness. Yeah.
But hey, I like the way that he's introduced himself into all of this, and I'm curious to see what he's really about. And honestly, I'm just going to say this right now. I hope that he's actually an ally of the Magic Knights in some way, because I'd hate for him to just be like a villain in disguise.
Yeah, I would.
Having someone with this kind of attitude be one of the Magic Knights, I think could be really cool.
I definitely would be more interested if this is a guy. I mean, it's going to be tough for him to be a Magic Knight, considering he's entering into this tournament after beating up someone else and taking their identity. But that should be explained next chapter, because you'd assume the Wizard King would be like, "You're not Zerx Lugner. He's such a pretentious douchebag. No one likes that guy."
And of course, if he decides, I'll allow it, then that might be an indication that everything's cool.
Yeah.
He's really messed.
I'm like, God damn it, man. You
Oh,
motherfucker.
boy.
He's everything. All right. I'm excited for it. I like this chapter.
Let's move on to One Piece to finish things up. So it looks like it's the conclusion of the Big Mom flashback. Last time we learned about how she was a troubled child because of how big-hearted she is. Didn't have a lot of restraint and ended up causing a tremendous amount of chaos in the Land of the Giants in Elbaf because she really, really likes Selma.
Yeah.
And the chapter ended with one of the Longbeards realizing, hey, maybe I should kill this thing, and trying to. And this chapter opens up with her backhanding the sword, snapping it in half, and then grabbing him by the beard and fucking throwing him to the ground.
That's
shit.
That's a pretty brutal shit. Ja Rule!
While going-
No!
While going, give me Selma!
Is
Or
it
Semla, sorry.
Semla, yeah. Oh wait, no, sorry, that wasn't Ja Rule. That was the other one, Joe Rule. So Ja Rule's okay. For all those people, I hope we didn't cause the national panic. Somebody get on Twitter, hashtag Ja Rule's okay. Like, let's just make sure everyone's aware of this.
No more hashtags.
If Ja Rule could get on Facebook and check in, like, so everyone knows he's okay, he's not in danger. Joe Rule was the one who got hurt.
So, the town is still on fire. Linlin is still going around being like, Samla! Samla, Samla, Samla! So, Mother Carmel is like, hey, give her some Semla so that she'll fucking calm down. I'm going to take care of this. And she walks forward and appears to use Linlin's soul-giving ability because she speaks to the flames and says, I shall give you a voice. Now heed my command. And people are like, there's a face in the fire. Holy shit. And she says, your name will be Pandora. Now calm yourself. And as a result of this, she's able to kind of concentrate everything into a small sun and stops the fire, too. And they're like, oh, wow, it's a miracle. And she's like, it was the sun god who calmed this disaster. Everyone's still kind of like, yo, that kid's still a problem. And the other bearded chief, now that Linlin has fallen asleep, wants to kill her. Because, of course he does.
Yeah.
Mother Carmel steps forward and says, you should have mercy. Look. And the guy's like, but my companion, he's been my battle companion for 300 years, and he won't survive his wounds as a result of this. And a warrior is not defined by his years, but how he dies. This is an unforgivable crime. Mother Carmel says, oh, but she's just a child. I can't let her just be killed. I will take her and leave this place. And Hadradin, meanwhile, is just like, kill her! But the chief takes pity and lets them leave. And yes, Jorl dies as a result of Linlin's killing the fuck out of him, basically. Linlin apparently did not realize what she was doing, because when she wakes up later on, she's just like, what happened? Okay. Time goes by. We get a lot of exposition explaining that Mother Carmel basically started up somewhere else in a new land, which some people have been pointing out looks a lot like Whole Cake Island, or parts of it that we've seen before, like the hills in the background in particular. Things seem to get back to normal. We cut to Mother Carmel in meeting with someone, and she's like, these kids, gotta sell them as slaves.
You're like, ooh, wow.
She's evil!
That kind of came quickly.
Quite a sudden reveal. Just like, I can't let that giant kid die. She's too valuable. I'll make a mint off of her. Look at how fucking strong she is.
You gotta make your money.
So there you go, and we're reintroduced to Mother Carmel, codename Mountain Hag, an orphan seller. It ain't easy playing a holy mother, and I'm getting out of biz after this one. It's my last big score, and you're all gonna pay up. Yay!
Teehee, what song should we sing today?
Binkasuna Saki, yo, Look at how happy the children are.
Yo, it's like, damn, this was not something I expected. And I made mention of this on Twitter. I had talked about, in regards to the pudding revelation, that usually the style of narrative I appreciate most from Oda is that he can be very unpredictable with these things. He rarely ever seems to go in the exact one direction you would expect things to traditionally go. And that was part of my problem with Pudding, was the idea of saying, oh no, she's actually good after revealing she was evil, just seems too predictable and easy. Whereas this was absolutely the thing I was talking about, where I was like, I didn't see it being like, oh hey, actually, Caramel's evil, so she's selling to kids. She's not a good person. And you're like, oh, I didn't expect that. You keep me on my toes. It's just that notion that you can never really get into like a comfortable rut with One Piece. It keeps you on your toes, and it helps you to enjoy things a lot more when you're constantly being like, I can't predict anything that's going to happen. So it helps you to enjoy things a little bit more.
So time passes, and we get to Lin Lin's 6th birthday. And everyone's made this tremendous cake, like one that's actually bigger than Lin Lin herself, made of semla. And she digs into it. And we get narration saying that one day Mother Carmel simply vanished, and it happened on the very best birthday that Lin Lin ever had. She was with her friends at the House of Lambs, kids who'd been through the same hardships, and her beloved, kind-hearted Mother Carmel. Surrounded by all those smiles and eating her delicious sweet birthday cake, Lin Lin found that she couldn't stop crying. What a wonderful day it was. She couldn't even see through her tears. What a truly wonderful birthday. Eventually, Lin Lin finishes up eating her cake, and she's like, oh, I even chewed the table a bit. Oh, it was so wonderful. I'll never forget this day for the rest of my life. Where is everybody? And everyone's just gone. Like, vanished completely.
Yeah. Vanished.
Like, spirited away by the goddamn frickin' rapture, because there are clothes that have been left behind, too.
So, just to be clear, you do know what happened, right?
She ate them, right?
Yeah, she ate them. Like, you could see in that panel where she's saying yummy and it sees a shot of the island, the other sound effects are, wah! And ah! So presumably, if she eats semla, she just goes fucking one note and she loses all sense of herself, and she just fucking ate everybody. Which also is actually a pretty huge deal, because this answers one question we hadn't known before. I guess if you eat a double fruit user, you get their power.
Yay! Is that what Blackbeard did to Whitebeard?
Oh, shit, you go inside his cape that he did that shit in, and he was just like... They're like, sir, we don't have time for this. He's like, if I'm going to eat a meal, I'm going to do it right. He's like a little bib. Little chewy. Can we put this back on? Yeah. Yeah.
We were supposed to do this in the course of a few seconds, Blackbeard. So we cut to the present. Man. After Lindlen's just like, where did everybody go? Are you guys in the house? Where is everybody? And Lindlen, Big Mom and the president just like, where did you go, mother?
And this is, I love this chapter, because this is still a sad thing. Here's the thing. We don't have any indication that Big Mom is actually aware of, what she's done. We truly do think that she believes that she had the most wonderful birthday because she was surrounded by all of her friends and they gave her these delicious treats and she was so happy to have them. Yeah, she lost a little bit of control, but, she's just like, oh, man, I love this food and I love being surrounded by all of you. Thanks so much, everybody. Holy shit, where is everybody? And it kind of went into explain, last week, they put a chapter end as she's not a child, she's a god of destruction. And it falls into this notion that, yeah, she does have a real problem with control. When she wants food, she fucking wants it. But it still is also that thing where deep down there did seem to be a very good child here. And she just continues to kind of get left behind and betrayed by people. Her family left her behind because she was too destructive. Mother Caramel, even though she doesn't know it, didn't actually really like her. It was just trying to sell her to be a weapon by the Cypher Pole.
Yeah.
The Giants disowned her.
Well, who could fucking love someone who will eat you alive, honestly?
Yeah. It's just one of those things. And in this moment, she thinks that she was abandoned by her entire family and Mother Carmel, who she saw as the only person who truly understood her. And it's very sad. I at this point, I'm like, this is one of the more interesting kind of character things, because it's not so cut and dry that I'm like, Mom's a wholly sympathetic figure. But it is enough that I'm not, like, looking at her and they didn't just give her an evil thing. Because, like, Doflamingo had a little bit of, like, a backstory that gave you a bit more understanding of the way he is. But he was still an entitled, shitty kid, basically. Like, he was still kind of a dick. Whereas with Big Mom, you could at least look at her and you're like, there's a very sad tone to this story that I don't know how you really solve it. Because this kid, when she gets into, like, an eating fit, just loses everything. she loses all focus. But still, it's like you kind of feel bad for her too, because she doesn't mean to. She's not intentionally eating her family.
Yeah.
I felt this went a huge way towards making Big Mom a much more interesting character to me, because prior to this, I was kind of like, man, let's get out of Whole Cake Island and let's move on, because I'm not too digging it. But now I'm of the point where I'm like, let's continue on here. And now I really, really want for the actual conclusion to this pudding shit to be Big Mom and her having some kind of, like, reconciliation with one another. That, to me, would be huge, because that would kind of give a full circle to all this. That Big Mom, after being abandoned, actually comes to understand one of her own kids better and makes amends. I don't know if it'll happen. It's just, like, big thing. But I'm like, if that's the end goal of all this pudding stuff was to kind of get to that, I think that's going to be hugely worth it.
We're going to find out later it was completely something else that actually caused them to vanish or something.
Oh, yeah. I'm just like, no, actually, they were all screaming because the lion ate them. She was just dumb and she didn't see it.
It was that id, ego, and super ego that spirited them away. The wrongness.
All the wrongness of these long, elaborate, like, explanations that we give.
Well, this was not a very long, elaborate explanation. It's just like, kind of seems like she ate them.
But I spent like 20 minutes being like, how beautiful of a story this is. And it's just like, actually, no, they just fucking left and she's dumb and didn't see it.
I know. I feel like this entire flashback has only seemed to gone to justify what a horrifying creature Linlin is and how dangerous she is.
And that's true. That absolutely is true. But at the same time, it's a different level to it when you could tell that as a kid, she wasn't vindictive and evil. She was maybe selfish because she wanted a lot of food. But it seems genuine when she's sitting there saying, thanks, guys, so much. This has been the most beautiful birthday ever. I'll never forget it. This is so great. Like, that to me is such a, like, fun, beautiful, innocent moment. And it does change the character of Linlin a little bit.
Well, we'll see. But for now, that is gonna do it for Weekly Manga Recap. So thanks, guys, for joining us for the show. We will return next week, hopefully with Death Note, and more manga to talk about. So that is gonna do it. We are White Ruler of Time and Rolo T. You can follow us at Twitter with those Twitter handles, and of course, you can also follow at WMR Podcast. Are you doing a Rob Van Dam thing?
Yeah, now I'm doing the NWO.
Right.
Team 3D. I can't do the Kurt Angle. I'd have to spin around a lot. But just imagine I went all the way around, yeah. And then, it's The Rock. And Stone Cold, he did like his little finger fucking thing when he fell down. Woo! I'm done. I'm out of them now.
You're out of them.
Oh, wait, hold on.
That's Hulk again.
I can Hulkamania, Nick. I can't stop.
Biggest dork. All right, so thank you for watching us here on smashcast.tv/RoloT and twitch.tv/RoloT. We record the show Wednesdays, normally at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, though sometimes we do need to change things up, so make sure to give us a follow so that you can stay updated on that stuff. And of course, that way you'll also be able to catch whatever weird GIF that Chris starts the show with.
Yes.
Also, check out our past episodes on weeklymangarecap.podbean.com. Subscribe to us on iTunes and YouTube, and make sure to leave a comment or rating so that you can help us beat the woodworkers in the hobby section.
Yes, it is greatly appreciated. By the way, we always try to shout out anybody who sends them over. I do need to, if anyone knows a way for me to go to the UK store to read that, I would like to. I know we have plenty of people from outside of America who have given us ratings. I just can't see them from the US store. But also, I believe that our rating number went up, but I didn't see a comment for it. So that's the only way I'm actually able to tell if somebody left a review is to note if somebody put a comment there. I may be doing this wrong, so very well put that in there. But yeah.
Feedback, questions, suggestions for future manga can go to weeklymangarecap@yahoo.com. And special thanks as well to our Patreon supporters. Your support allows us to create all sorts of bonus content for you guys to enjoy.
Yes, a special thanks to Lucas Ibister, Malene Sunby Holt, and No Quarter for being our newest patrons. Thank you very much, guys. Oh, and that was off kilter. There we go. Boom. Thank you. And by the way, we try to announce it when we can. We picked what our new bonus pod for this month's going to be. We're going to be doing the series again, as explained by Manga, but this time I'm going to be explaining Lost to Nick as explained through Manga. And I can tell you already, this is going to be an interesting episode, even if you don't care about Lost. And I would advise you to listen to it, because I watched an episode of Lost to kind of do a little research for it. And I got way too emotionally invested on it again. I'm not going to say what happened, but I will say tears were shed way more than they should have. I found out I still have way too much of a connection to the show. So this is going to be a really fun episode regardless. If Nick shits on it even slightly, I might cry in the episode.
How am I going to shit on it?
I don't know.
I guess you'll explain to me what happens, and I might say that sounds stupid, but...
Yeah, no, it's. I think it's going to be a really fun episode. Check that out. If you want to listen to it, just become a bonus patron during the month of June, and you will get a copy of it. We'll probably have it out later at the end of the month.
Yeah. And, of course, finally, thank you to the guys who help make the podcast what it is. Steve Mann, our title card artist, and Infamous Planet, who is back to making visual editions, I think. Mm-hmm. So that's going to do it.
We have to do our MVP still.
Shit! I always forget something. You're right. Favorite series and MVPs? Brah!
I will say my favorite series this week was One Piece. I thought One Piece had a really great chapter. I like the way this flashback went. Twists and turns. Very cool.
Let me think about this for just a second.
Well, I'll just go on and say that in turn, my character MVP was also then Big Mom for this week as well. I thought she was, I like this revelation. I'm really excited for where it's taking her, and I'm far more interested in the character of Big Mom now than I was way before this, so good shit.
Thinking about it, I'm going to go with My Hero Academia for my series, because I really like this stuff. The insight into Sun Eater and the origin of his name, which I think is really cool. I like the way that the abilities are kind of going off of each other in this chapter. And my favorite character, I am going to go with... Shit, I had it just a second ago. God, I'm so bad at this. Oh, I had it. Well, fucking who is it?
There was Sun Eater,
No,
Senku.
God damn it.
What series are they from?
I don't fucking remember. I just completely... Fake... No wonder, because we don't know his real name. Fake
Zerx Looker. Okay. There you go.
Fake Zerx. That's what. That's why I didn't get it, is because it's like, what's this fucking name? He didn't give it out! So that's it.
All right. Well, that's going to do it, I think. I think we're...
Yeah, that's it, because I did all the... I'm so unprofessional sometimes.
We're the pinnacle.
This is what I deserve for criticizing Delicious in Dungeon so heavily.
Oh, Nick, it looks like you have a new comment on that article. It's from the King of the Clover Kingdom. Delicious in Dungeon is a fantastic series! It includes team building elements! That's it.